Stop for a second and think about this. Why do you take care of yourself? Why do you protect your life? And why, deep down, do you care about what happens to others? The answer could lie in a single word, an ancient, powerful, and surprisingly current word: Oikeiosis. You may have never heard it before, but this idea was key to one of history's most influential philosophical systems, Stoicism. And the most interesting part is that it doesn't talk about distant gods or abstract theories. It talks about you, about me, about all of us. Oikeiosis describes the process by which a living being recognizes itself as something valuable. From the first moment of life, there is a natural impulse to preserve oneself, to protect oneself, to stay alive. It is not a conscious decision. It is something deeper, more primitive. An animal flees from danger. It searches for food. It defends itself. Not because someone taught it to, but because naturally it feels at home within its own existence. That precisely is oikeiosis, recognizing oneself as one's own. But here is where the story gets really interesting. In human beings, this process does not stop at the body. Over time, we also begin to recognize our mind, our emotions, our capacity to think, to choose, to reason. We start asking who we are and what truly benefits us. And then something key happens. That sense of belonging, which at first only points toward oneself, starts to expand. First toward those closest to us, family, friends, those with whom we share our lives. They also become our own. But the Stoics went even further. When we fully develop our reason, we understand that we are not isolated, that other human beings also think, feel, and reason. And in that moment, oikeiosis expands once more. It is no longer limited to a small group. It extends, potentially, to all of humanity. Here, a revolutionary idea appears. If we all share reason, then we are all part of the same community. And from that understanding, ethics is born. Not as an external imposition, not as a list of rules, but as something natural, almost inevitable. Acting with justice, respect, and moderation is not going against our nature. According to the Stoics, it is living in accordance with it. And now, an uncomfortable question. If this is so, why do we so often act against ourselves? Why do we chase things that harm us? Why do we confuse well-being with momentary pleasure, or success with external recognition? The Stoics would say we have lost the path of oikeiosis, that we have forgotten what is truly ours, because not everything we desire truly belongs to us. Money, fame, approval, these are external things, unstable, beyond our control. In contrast, our capacity to reason, to choose with consistency, and to act with virtue, that is indeed ours. And here comes another key point. Oikeiosis does not separate self-care from caring for others. On the contrary, it teaches us that they are deeply connected. By understanding who we are, we also understand how we should relate to the world. In an era like the current one, marked by haste, constant noise, and disconnection, this idea is more relevant than ever. It invites us to stop, to reflect, to ask ourselves if we are living according to our true nature, or if we are simply reacting to everything happening around us. Because, in the end, oikeiosis is a journey, a path that begins with the I, and that, step by step, leads us to the we. And perhaps, by understanding this process, we can live with more clarity, more balance, and a deeper sense of what it means to be human.